All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Project Assemble. This is actually the 20th live stream that we've done together.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
That's a milestone, so it's been a great, 20 streams that we've done together. But now today,
definitely,
we are reviewing X-Men 97. The finale just came out today, and I got so many thoughts on it, and just the entire series as a whole. How are you doing, though?
Not too bad now. Eleanor's a lot better now, so there's no more hospital trips apparently, hopefully, so we're all good there. But she's feeling a lot better. She did tell me to say hello to you all and everybody watching, so she's doing well and she's still in high spirits. But yeah, other than that, just busy as out, but nice, chilling now, ready to talk to you with this, because my lord, that finale season in general, just
crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone's worried about spoilers, I highly suggest you shut this off now and come back to it once you've, finished the show. If you've already seen it, that's great. I hope you enjoy us talking about all the little things in each episode. I've got my notes broken down episode by episode and then kind of my overall thoughts at the end. And yeah, I can't wait to get to this. I don't have an icebreaker at all. Just because I've kind of gone through my notes so much, I kind of didn't even think to come up with one. But that's okay. I think we're gonna need a lot of time to go over all these episodes.
Yeah, just a bit. I'll show you one thing that I found new again today. Is at the last Comic Con I had, we got 2 little art cards. One of Captain America.
Oh, that's really cool.
And one of Deadpool.
Nice.
I got them really from cool. Leicester's Comic Con, so I just thought I'd show you them because I liked them.
Yeah, is there an artist on that? Does it say who did that?
I don't think it does, to be honest. No, it was just at one of the stalls and everything. I don't really tell the names, bless them, but they did all sorts of ones. It's the same one. It was the same stall I got my Deadpool spraying his logo on the police box, Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
And it was the same shop that I got my Assassin's Creed one, my Assassin's Creed tops here. But yeah, shout out to them, that store holder from Leicester Comic Con. I'll be seeing them again this year.
Very nice. All right. So we're gonna start with this review. Again, final warning: spoilers. Like full steam ahead on spoilers. So be very cautious. All right, let's do this. First off, I just want to say, one of the best series I've ever seen. Like,
Oh,
storytelling is insane. Writing is
Yeah.
amazing. The characters are so intriguing. Everyone gets their time to shine. It's just really perfect.
yeah, I gotta say, this is the best animation that I've ever seen. That lot. Like I've, you know what I'm like with all sorts of different shows. And like best animation I've ever seen. And I really enjoy it. So fair play to them, and I'm just so glad. I say it's in my notes, but I'm just so glad they kept to how it originally was. That lot. So yeah, I just so good, so good.
Yeah. All right, so I've broken it down episode by episode. Just kind of my thoughts on each one, kind of summarize what happened in it. So episode 1 was like basically the establishment of this series. I thought it was an amazing premiere. It perfectly shows why these characters are so awesome. Like they're all working together as a team, all showing off their powers. Some really badass sequences. The whole Sentinel thing was really cool. Like Cyclops dropping out of the Blackbird and he's using his beams to kind of slow himself down, and then you get the "To
I've
Me
never
My
seen him do
X-Men."
that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
I've never
it was
seen.
so cool.
It's so good. Yeah.
And it just incredibly sets up the story going forward. So I gave that one a 10 out of 10. Just episode 1.
Oh yeah. I've not going to give any ratings for each episode, but for an introduction to like a new audience, like obviously the older generation are going to know about this series and they're going to come back to watch it. But a new introduction to a younger audience to see it, even though I think some of the topics in this were very adult themed, to be honest.
And I'll get to that too.
So, oh yeah, but yeah, just having that introduction to them all, and it's just so good, and just what a way to start off. Just it literally was just plucked them from the 90s straight into today. Just seamless transition. You could easily watch the last series of the 90s one, come straight into this. So good, and I was just blown away from that first episode. I just thought, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and obviously they did the 2-episode premiere, so this wasn't the first one that we got like right away. There's a second one. And at the end of the first one, we have Magneto kind of assuming ownership of the X-Men. Charles has kind of left him in charge. So this one has Magneto like at like full presence, and he owned this episode. He has so many powerful lines in this, like that whole UN scene, and he's like lifting them up. Gave me chills. Like he has so many like big lines, and the writing for him in like specifically was so well done. He adopts the mission that Charles sets him on. He's trying to transition from his dark ideology to like kind of mend the hole between mutants and humans. I just see Rez talk in the chat. Thank you for joining, Rez.
Well done, see you, mate.
Hope you aren't going to be spoiled at all on this. This is a spoiler review,
Yeah.
so hope that's okay with you. We also got Executioner, who depowers Storm. Like, that's huge for her. Like, it's tragic, but her acting was so powerful at the end when she leaves the team. I think Allison Seeley Smith, who plays her, is perfect as Aurora. Like, just really well done episode. I gave that one a 10 out of 10 too.
I said with some of them sequences, especially the UN scene and when she loses her powers, it was just something that I was not expecting at all. Now, like, and just seeing him sort of like transition from the big bad sort of like overpowering villain that he is, just to see him like try and adapt Charles's vision sort of thing, but still have that undertone of no, if you tick me off, I'll show you what I can do sort of thing, and really demonstrate his aura. But that was so good now, and I did not expect Storm to leave at all. Especially, I thought she'd lose her powers, and then throughout the series she'll rehabilitate herself in the X Mansion. But yeah, seeing her go away, just my lord,
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I just see Rez. Don't worry, you can talk about everything. Good.
That's all right.
I hope our thoughts kind of align with yours as well. About Magneto too. at the beginning of this, he's still like, he still is kind of on that dark side, and then as the episode goes on, he's like, I'm allowing myself to prove to you I can do this, but if you push the line, I'm more than happy to go back to my old ways. And that was so good.
I said just them little lines like that sort of thing. It's just like it's there. It's just under the surface, but it is there, ready to pop.
Yeah. And then episode 3, we get the Madeline Pryor and Mr. Sinister introduction. At the end of episode 2, we get the second Jean showing up, and we're all like, wait, what the heck? And then they go
where
down.
the hell's that come from?
Yeah. And then we get the whole Mr. Sinister involvement. He plucked Jean somewhere at some point in the original series, and it's been Madeline Pryor this whole time. Something that doesn't make a ton of sense to me, because, like, spoilers again, in the finale, when the Phoenix comes back, and this is real Jean, are we assuming it was Madeline basically from the entire start of the old series? Because Jean wouldn't have the Phoenix if Madeline was there the whole time.
Yeah.
So that
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like, she wouldn't have gone through the whole Phoenix thing, so how does she have it, kind of thing. But yeah, that's another analytical thing that we could do another time. But Madeline's created by Mr. Sinister. She's cloned. She's super powerful. I thought she was really cool in that episode. Like,
oh yeah, the outfit Fred as well, and just how dark it was as well. Like, for me, episode 3 and 4 are my best episodes.
Really?
Myself. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I loved them 2 episodes and that sort of thing. Like I say, don't get me wrong, I love the finale as well. The finale was absolutely amazing, but I just the dark tones in episode 3, and then what happened afterwards, just so good.
And then obviously Mr. Sinister, he sounds and looks perfect. Chris Britton came back to play him from the original series, so that was really cool. Then you get Nathan. Was he born at the end of episode 2? I'm pretty sure, because he's like with them at the beginning of 3.
Because he's in the cot, and it just all starts to be messed up, sort of thing. Right. And he says, Sinister says, I can't remember what he says now, or something, but he's like manipulating her and stuff like that, sort of thing. Yeah.
So yeah, Nathan is taken by Sinister. He's given the biotechnical virus, and Bishop takes him to the future to find a cure, and then it's just a really emotional send-off. Like, your child is just born, and you have to send them off, and you never know if you're going to see them again.
I said that bit as well. I loved how like connecting, or that's how we has all this technology in him and stuff like that. So then just linking them 2 things together, so nice. And then just heartbreaking to go, look, he needs fixing. He can't do it here. He needs to be sent away. It's just so good. And
in this episode too, it seems so like out of place why Sinister's just randomly like giving him this virus. But then when you look back on it after knowing what he's actually doing, I thought that was just a really cool placement there, because he's developing that kind of, like Prime Sentinel bond, but it's not 100% there yet, and then that creates Cable. I thought that was really cool.
Just having them little bits as well throughout the episodes to link it up at the end and then understand why everything's come together.
Yeah.
So nice. And we'll get to it obviously in the final, but the power he had over him.
Yeah.
So good in that lot.
So I gave episode 3 an 8.5 out of 10, just a slight step down from the first 2 for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it still.
It's just how dark it was, episode 3. Well, I just really liked it because I wasn't expecting anything that dark. Basically, I weren't expecting it, and just to come out of left field like that, and some of the real messages it was coming from it was just damn, yes. It's just what it's like. I know it's not obviously a part of the MCU, but it's just what Marvel needed right at this point.
Yeah,
just having something like this completely off grid. So good.
Yeah, and then we move into episode 4. This was the first split one, so we have Motendo and then Life Death Part 1.
Oh no, right. I do apologize. When episode 4 I was thinking of, it must have
Okay,
been episode
that's
5.
why I was shocked when you said that. All right, so Motendo is focused on Jubilee and Sunspot. Basically, just it's Jubilee's birthday, and then they get sucked into the video game by Mojo. I thought it was okay. It's not great. It's kind of like tolerable for me. It was like a very like random filler part.
Yeah.
It didn't really do anything other than kind of develop their kind of friendship, but in the end, it doesn't really even result to anything that big by the end of the show. Then you get Life Death Part 1 with Storm and Forge. Like, Forge has found Storm. He's going to offer to kind of help her get her powers back. The relationship they form is very interesting because he's basically like, I love you, Storm, just like right up front. And she's like, wait, what? You just offered to help me and I didn't know this was a thing. But I think this half was better than Motendo. It's not fantastic, but it is better than Motendo. And the whole like demon inside of her too, like she has to confront the demon.
So good.
That was like visually like creepy, but so well done. So I gave this one a 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely the weakest episode of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to probably have one of those episodes in there to kind of give you a break. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Myself, I'd have had Storm's part in its own episode myself.
Yeah.
And then had probably Jubilee's part mixed in with something else. Like the team could have gone off, and then that's when they could have gone off to Genosha and did all the things at Genosha, and then had her part trapped in her own little thing. That like you'd flip between the two. That's what I'd done myself, but I didn't mind it. It was okay. And I like I'm similar to yourself. I was more thrilled with Storm's part than Jubilee's part, but I did quite like Jubilee's part. It was quite a different sort of thing, and I just like I'm a geek for little game things and stuff like that sort of thing. So seeing them, especially when they're in like the 8-bit thing and the side scrolling
that was
across, that reminded me of the old X-Men games, like the thing like Sega or something like that.
The side scrolling.
I absolutely loved that. Yeah, I absolutely loved that. I was like, that's so good. That was calling out to me. That one. But then, yeah, just seeing that, I was like, it didn't need to split this episode up myself. But no, I definitely get where you're coming from. Yeah, Storm's part and. Yeah, so nice, so creepy as well. And I say, bringing that dark, creepy side. Again, loved it, absolutely loved it.
And Rez says he agrees that the Storm part was better. Yeah, definitely. Episode 5. Buckle up. This is where the show takes off. They were not afraid to go mature with this show.
Oh no!
Like this episode proves, like. After you see this, you're like, what are they going to do later on? This episode slams on the acceleration pedal. Everything changes after this. Like, this series is not the same. And I've said this before, this is one of the greatest episodes of TV I've ever seen. Hands down.
Yeah.
The story was amazing. It's kind of, you get two kind of like split parts to it. You have... the whole like X-Men being interviewed and then Scott kind of snapping and then the whole, fighting with Jean kind of thing. And then you have Genosha, which we'll get to. But the character moments were so awesome in this. The dialogue was incredible. One scene specifically with, Val and Magneto at the gala. And Val says, most other nations don't allow a terrorist to be their leader. And Magneto says, yet so many allow their leaders to be terrorists. And I was just like, oh. Wow.
That's a bit hard hitting at the time and the moment. That lot. Jesus,
it is, but it's so badass, but it's true. Like,
yeah.
Like the writing is on point for this. And Genosha looks like a really nice place to live. Like when they're flying in, it's like this looks like so awesome. And it was almost like as you're watching it, it's like, okay, they're building it up to be so positive, and then something's gonna happen, but you don't know to that scale. No. I had no idea that was gonna happen.
Not this quick as well. That's
exactly,
what tells me.
So yeah, lots of tragedies always associated with Genosha. The whole Sentinel Kaiju massacre, that was crazy. Nightcrawler. The introduction to Nightcrawler in this.
Yeah.
One of my favorite X-Men characters. I think they did him perfectly. His acting was amazing. The character was done right. He looks really good. He has a lot of really good dialogue as well. Like, he's very like philosophical and wise. Like when he's talking to Gambit, when Rogue's, listening to the music, and he's like, kind of saying like, "Go for it, man! Like, she's waiting for you." And then he's like, "I can't do that. Like, it's more complicated than you think." And then he kind of goes through this whole discussion with him, and it's so well written. I got out of my seat in shock when Nightcrawler goes in to save Magneto and Rogue, or it was Magneto and Rogue from the Sentinel blast, and you see him and he flops over and he looks fried. I was like, no, they did not. So I was relieved that he was okay after that. Just the build up to the massacre too. Like, it's so well done. Like, the eerie dance music, just listening to it, I was like, something's really off about this. And you get Jean and Madeline having visions. Cable arrives, tries to find Madeline before it's too late. He gets sucked back, and then massive explosion. Madeline and hundreds of other mutants in her area are vaporized. You get the Rogue POV of her falling to the street. And at this moment, my heart was pounding. I was like, what the heck is going on right now? You get another incredible Magneto line. He says, "Save as many as you can. We shall not live our days wondering if we could have saved more." And then you get Gambit on the motorcycle and Rogue flying by. And just that huge, like, powerful rendition of the X-Men theme. Like, the music was so good in this final part of the episode.
This to me was like a season finale in itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how it was, just the music was on point, and just how intense it was, and just how, like, God.
Like, if they did this as a movie, this would be one of the greatest X-Men movies ever made.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, kind of like an Infinity War kind of, like, ending. Like, what the heck just happened? And then later on it picks up. But, like I said, the music was so powerful. I still get goosebumps every time I watch this episode. Just because the emotional weight. I think I've seen it, like, 5 or 6 times.
I'm probably close to 3 or 4
so
myself.
Good. And you get Magneto snaps. He has those flashbacks to the Holocaust, and he says, "They shall be avenged." And he starts fighting the kaiju with the train. So good. And then his sacrifice event. Well, sacrifice.
Honest, it had me all day long. I thought.
I was like, "There's no way."
Kids
There's
around
no
him.
way. Yeah.
It was just with them kids around him as well. And I was just, Jesus,
so powerful.
Horrible.
Like, Leech clinging to him for help, because Leech was saved by Magneto earlier in the season, and he's an icon for him, and he looks up at him, and then Magneto looks down, and you're like, no, they can't. And then he says, "Halbe keine Angst," and then destroyed.
Yeah.
Halbe keine Angst is German for "don't be afraid" as well.
Is it that bit for me when he's just looking up? I was about in tears for myself now. Like,
I was in tears for the entire end sequence of this episode. I was like, no, they can't do this. And then Gambit, like, so emotional.
No, that did have me in tears. I just couldn't.
Such a badass way to save the others, but like the sound effect when he gets stabbed too. That was gut wrenching. Like, it's like you hear the sheath, and then it's like a twist of guts. Yeah. It was like, oh man, the way they did
when I didn't realize he could be that powerful with that moment, and then
he clings on. He says, "The name's Gambit, mon ami, remember it," and then it's gone. And then Rogue at the end too. That sealed it when she says, "Sugar, I can't feel you." Yeah. And then it just cuts to black as she's crying.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. They could have easily just stopped it there and then gone to be continued.
I would have been so mad if they did though.
Yeah, they could have done that. They literally could have done. How intense that part was. I was just like, you sons of bitches.
Like, if the end of this season ended that way and then you get the to be continued, I would have been like, no. Come on now. We're not waiting 2 or 3 years to see what happens after this. But yeah, this entire episode I had tears, my heart was pounding, goosebumps, just like so emotional.
Proper edgy seat stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It really was proper edgy seat stuff.
So I give it... Sorry.
So you could literally just be like, we need the next one now. We can't wait next week. We need it now. That was one of them points. So I wanted them just to drop the whole season on, so I could just binge watch it after that, because it was just.
This is the other thing. I'm so glad they did the weekly release, because then you get the suspense, you get the build up. If it was released all at once, that episode would not land the way it did.
No.
And I'm giving this one a 100 out of 10. Like, this is crazy. Rez says, what I like about this episode is that we don't know who was going to live and who was going to die. Exactly. That's why my heart was pounding and tears in my eye. I was like, no, like, I don't want anything bad to happen. And when one thing happens, you're like, no, okay, anything's possible now. And then...
Because I swear, didn't Emma Frost die in this episode as well?
Well, I think she's lying there. Sebastian Shaw is definitely dead because he's there. Yeah. But later on, they find Emma in the rubble.
Oh, yeah. I can remember her just being, like, look knackered and that sort of thing. But yeah, they literally could have just killed anybody off at that point. Yeah. And it was just... Like,
the whole beginning, like, Magneto's looking up, and Banshee's like, you gotta get out of here, and Banshee's, like, vaporized, and it's like, from that moment on, you're like, okay, all hands are down. Like, anything can happen. So, yeah, that was, like, I'm so, like, invested in that episode. It was like, okay, this is the bar. The finale has to top this. And...
I think it did, to be honest. I think it did.
Yeah, well, when it's 3 parts, you can do a lot with that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was episode 5. Episode 6. This is another split one. We get the Shi'ar with Charles, and then we get the finale to Life Death. So, we start with the Shi'ar Empire with Charles. I knew he couldn't have been dead. Like, I was like, there's no way they did that. He's probably out there with Lilandra.
Like myself, I just thought he was dead all day long. Especially with how powerful he was, really like laying it on thick at the beginning. Like, here's his last will and testament, and Magneto's going to be the new headmaster, and this and the other. And why didn't Charles leave it to Scott and everything? I'm like, I can't believe they've actually killed Xavier off now. Like, where the hell's that come from? But then, as the series got later and later, I'm looking at that intro, because I never skip the intro. I love that intro too.
Every single week, I'm like, this is a must. Like, you can't do that.
Exactly.
If Disney Plus, like, they don't even need to bother with the skip intro button. Like, just get rid of it.
Exactly. And I'm looking at them like, but they've still got Xavier there. And each and every episode is going on, I'm like, Xavier's still there. Xavier's still there. So he's not dead. He's not dead. And I was like trying to convince myself. But each episode I didn't see him, I'm like, he could be. He could actually be dead still. And then it come to this one. And then when you see him, I'm like, there he is. He's walking. How the hell's he playing walking? What the hell's going on? There he is.
Yeah, it was like really cool to see him back, but I kind of wasn't surprised. It would have been cool, though, if he was actually dead. And I think it would have benefited Cyclops' character a bit more.
Yeah.
Seeing him actually assume the leader role of the team. If Charles didn't come back at all, I think it still would have been a really great show. But you would have got more with Cyclops actually becoming the leader of the team after Magneto kind of disappears. So you get the Shi'ar. I thought it was really cool seeing all those characters and the planet. The Charles astral plane scene when he's kind of like in their heads, and then the Earth is spinning, and you see the giant skeleton Gambit, and then all the students are skeletons, and he's freaking out. He's like, wait, what has happened? What am I missing on? And then it's so chilling, but it's executed perfectly. Like, he abandoned his people to live out his, like
romantic affair, really.
His preferred life with Lilandra, and because of his absence, something horrible has happened. Yeah,
everything's gone to pot, sort of thing.
So yeah, that first part was really well done, in my opinion. The Storm storyline, she gets her powers back, which was really cool. She overcomes the demon. The writing in that scene too, and the visuals are so good. Like, everything visual with Storm looks really, really good. She gets the iconic black suit. It looks perfect. Um,
That's something. Oh no, I won't say now. Just that's something that somebody in our special review episode that's going out this Friday had a major point to say about. But I'll leave that to the
okay.
special guest to say. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed it right away.
Go on.
They parallel Man of Steel after she gets her powers. So after she gets her powers, she's doing like her first flight around basically the world, kind of like, you know, like she's back. Like she's she's taking in her power. She's flying around. She's happy. And in Man of Steel, when he learns how to fly, he's like flying all across the world. Some of the same kind of flight movements. I thought it was just a really neat nod.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I said you probably didn't because you're not a DC guy.
No, not at all. No.
But I noticed that right away. Maybe Rez did too. Kind of see the Man of Steel parallel. But Storm has become one of my favorite X-Men characters throughout this show. Like each episode she's in has made me appreciate her character more. And
her bond with was it Jean?
Jean, yeah.
Or was it?
So
it was
good.
Jean, wasn't it? Yeah, her bond with her as well. That was so.
And then
I think that, to be honest, the bond with a load of them as well now, like just how they connect up with each other really well.
Like
so good.
She's the mom of the team. Like she's the heart. Oh wait, Rez says you saw it. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. So I gave this one a 9 out of 10. It's really well done. Charles is kind of like he's coming back. We don't know when. Storm has her powers back. Like the team is starting to come back more together.
I said myself, I thought Charles weren't going to come back till the last episode. When I knew it was on his way back, I thought it's going to take from that episode up until like finale. I really didn't think it was going to come back any time sooner than that sort of thing. Because I thought they were going to try and let it play out with just Scott and everybody else like that sort of thing. But I think with this one as well, they did the split episode really well. That's how you do a split episode.
Yeah, it was kind of like intertwined. It was like kind of split up very evenly.
So it just worked really well, sort of thing. But yeah, it was quite nice as well. And I like tricking the Shi'ar. Like he's not actually walking. It's the suit.
Yeah,
it was empowering him and stuff like that. I love that. That was really nice. Like nice touch. But yeah, I just as soon as I knew he was coming back, I'm like, yes, come on, just bring the whole point. And then I was so chuffed when Storm got her powers back, and then she overcome herself basically, and I was just so buzzing. And like when you see that black suit as well, I was like, that's the Storm I know. That's the one. Come on.
Exactly.
It was one of them ones that I could literally just stand up and punch the air with, sort of thing, because it was just so like
it's like
invigorating. Yeah.
So yeah, that was episode 6. Episode 7 is where the wheels start turning to the end game to this season. So most of the team regroups after Genosha. You get Gambit's funeral. Nightcrawler as the pastor was really good.
That was really nice.
It's so fitting that they did that too, because he is a priest. Like the voice acting for him every time he speaks is so good. Like the German accent, just the kind of pitch and tone of it too. It works so well. Like in my head, reading the comics, that's the kind of voice I hear. So that's happening. Rogue is on a personal mission to find Trask, and then she meets Captain America. The first non-X-Men cameo. He says he's in a deep mission. Basically, like, I'm kind of like spread thin right now. I can't do a whole lot to help you. And then Rogue tosses the shield, and
that bit pissed me off so rotten.
Like, how is he gonna get it back?
I was like, no, I was fuming at that point. I was like, no, you go find that for him now. You go get it back to him now. Go on. Honestly, it was so good. Like, just before you carry on, that funeral as well, and that lot, when you actually see that he is actually dead.
Yeah.
Oh, that just got me. I was absolutely in tears. And I was like, no, it can't do Gambit.
No. We'll get to it later on, but there's something that could happen with that.
Oh, Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay.
I just okay, right.
So, yeah, Rogue meets Captain America. She goes on to find Gyrick, who is basically like kind of in hiding. Um, she gets knocked out, and then someone kills Gyrick. I honestly had no idea who could have killed him. Like I was like,
Mhm.
I don't know who this person is, because you see like I guess up to their shoulders for most of the parts they're in
Yeah.
up until the final reveal. So I had no idea who it could have been.
No. No.
They track down Trask. Really appealing visuals in that scene too.
Yeah.
Like the contrast of all the colors and just the rain and all that looks really really good. And then Rogue's
So,
shocking move too. Like
I say all the visuals there in this whole series were just so spectacular, and I was
yeah
like, just they didn't need to go over the top with like have it all CGI massive things like how they done it. Just on point. It was just so nice, and
yeah
again, just plucked from the '90s as well. Just a bit sharper. That's all it was. It
yeah
was so well done.
like a really well polished animation. So yeah, Rogue drops Trask. You get the Prime Sentinel reveal. Sinister's been developing these Sentinels for another person. It's the new age of mutant extermination. And at that point, I was like, okay, what does this mean going forward? And then Trask comes back, and you're like, oh, it's like
Yeah,
zombies, basically.
yeah. When I seen that point, and when obviously she just drops him, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
Because even
what the
Nightcrawler's
hell?
like, Rogue, what have you
Yeah,
done?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like, damn, she proper has snapped, didn't she? Now, like, I was no,
Yeah.
Christ, I've never sort of seen that. Not darker side, but just like a. That's it. She snapped. That's it. She'll just do anything now, sort of thing. And then just for him to pop back up, and I'm like, hang on a minute, what's going off here? How's that
Yeah.
happen? How's that possible?
So it's like, was he a Prime Sentinel this whole time, or was that a recent thing?
Mm.
Because then they fight him. That was a really well framed and choreographed fight too. Like all of them kind of taking on Trask in the street. That was so good. Cable appears and defeats Trask, and then the Summers family is like together. I thought that was really cool. And then you get the big reveal with Bastion as the main villain. I had really no idea who this character was when they revealed it. I was like, who? So I did a lot of research.
I know my first thought was like, who's he? He's like Purple Man from bleeding Jessica Jones series. That lot. I did not have a clue at all in that sort of thing. I said myself, I should probably have a more of a deep dive into him now. But how he was portrayed in the series and that was good enough for me. Just seeing how dark and twisted he was, and I would say we'll get to the finale, but such a good villain, and especially one to work alongside. Well, no, I don't know if you'd say alongside or even above Mr. Sinister as well, to be honest, because it's so good. They're like, can they trust each other? Because one going to turn on the other. They're dynamic as well. Not like I said, all the characters, different dynamics for people. Like good and bad. So well done. That like the writing, just on point.
Yeah.
Absolutely on point.
I just see Rez says, because of the show, I love Rogue now. Yeah. Like, Rogue was really good in this show. She was always a cool character to me, but now, like, this show, I think, makes everyone a favorite. Like, everyone gets their time to prove themselves.
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively. To be honest, my favourite person in all of it now was Morph.
Really?
I just loved how he kept on. Yeah, I just loved how he kept on changing into different people.
Yeah, that was cool, yeah.
It was like, not the comic relief sort of side, but it was just like, he had his moments as well in that lot, and it was really touching, especially the final scene. Well, not final scene, but one of the final bits in the finale as well in that lot, with him talking to Wolverine. I was just like, oh, bless him, that's just lovely in that lot. But yeah, I just love Morph in that lot, and having his little time to shine as well in that lot sort of thing. It was just really nice.
Yeah, and then the reveal at the end of this, that Bastion has kidnapped Magneto. Like, Magneto is still alive. That was shocking too.
That bit as well, and I was like, Jesus, wait, you've got to be some tough cooker to stop Magneto and do that thing to him. It looks like he's just been wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
But then to actually stop that and or get him before anybody else could find him, and then just trap him like that, or even with the same collar thing as well.
Yeah.
I was like, my lord.
So good. So I give that one a 9.5 out of 10, like a near perfect episode.
Yeah.
Then episode 8. This is part 1 of Tolerance's Extinction. So the team regroups. They're trying to figure out what Bastion is doing. They find out he's trying to use the Prime Sentinels as sleeper agents to wipe out mutants so the humans can thrive and enslave some of them to build a utopia for the humans. Very, very dark stuff. And then we find out Sinister is using Bastion. He's tricking him into providing test subjects for his own experiments. Maybe we see more of this in season 2. With the way Sinister ended, he may be trying to kind of reverse what Jean did to him through other mutants. Yeah. So I'd be interested to see that. We get Bastion's origin. He was born with the Nimrod biotech in his body. If anyone doesn't know, Nimrod's basically the evolved version of Master Mold in the future. And Master Mold's like a hive mind basically for the Sentinels, like a very powerful Sentinel. So he's basically the human incarnation of Supreme Sentinel technology from the future. He's like so powerful. Then you get a lot of villain cameos in this too. You get Doctor Doom, you get Baron Zemo, and you get maybe Madam Hydra. Like
I think it is. That's what I'd presume from it.
Because there's that female speaker. You don't see the face, but I've seen people say that was probably Madam Hydra. I think that would be cool if it was. And then we find out that humans were volunteering to become the Prime Sentinels. And that was kind of questionable. Like, are they really volunteering, or are they being tricked and forced into doing it?
That was my first thought. And I was like, no way they're volunteering. Not for some of that dark and sinister. You'd be like,
unless they're just like somehow a pure racist, like towards mutants.
Well, yeah, exactly.
They probably would, but
yeah, that's true.
For that many to be Prime Sentinels, you can't imagine like all of them volunteered for that.
No.
Then you get the Prime Sentinel attack again, visually amazing. Wolverine doing the spinning claw attack in the sky on his way down, so cool. And then you get to see the inside of like Nightcrawler's teleportation. I thought that was really cool when they did that.
I've never seen that. Never seen that done at all.
Exactly. So like Wolverine being sucked into it, and he was like, "Whoa, what the heck is this?" I thought that that they chose to do that. Like they didn't need to, but they did, and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, great fighting between the two of them. Like Nightcrawler with the 3 swords. I thought that was like, here we go. This is him.
Any time when he's got them swords on him, I just love it. He's just so fluid going through it now.
Yeah.
So I'd say the fight sequences and all this series as well now, it's just so good.
And the funny thing about that is that they don't care at all if these people could be revived. Like they're like cutting them in the shreds, and these are like just innocent people that are now like Sentinels. So it's like if they couldn't regenerate themselves, they're just straight up murdering all these people.
Yeah.
So yeah. The X-Mansion is destroyed. Then we get back to Magneto, who is released by Val, and she drops the line, "Magneto was right." Proving that for me. Yeah.
That when she said that, and I was just like,
it's true though.
Oh boy, yeah, it's true. It's true all day long. But I was like, oh boy, here it goes. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be
like his whole ideology is that humans and mutants cannot coexist. Humans are always going to try to wipe out the mutants, and the mutants need to strike because if they wait too long, they're going to be extinct. So because he tried Charles's path and it didn't work, he was right. Humans are, no matter what, going to try to take down the mutants. And he snaps, releases the EMP, and you get all those cameos too. You get Spider-Man, Silver Samurai, Omega Red, and basically the world is brought back to the Dark Age. And then you get Charles, he crashes down, and he's in his bug armor from the Shi'ar. And I'm reading the Uncanny X-Men, like their first like issues, like right now, and Lilandra first appears in that suit. So I thought that was a really cool reference.
I never knew that. That's nice.
And then he gets to say, "To me, my X-Men," and then and
when I hear that line as well, that was another moment like, yeah, go on.
Like he does that, and then you see them appearing beside him. It was like, oh, here we go. This is it.
Yeah.
Um,
So good.
yeah.
But then when he does that EMP and everything, there's just start dropping and you see all them. I'm like,
he says enough, and then just
yeah,
everything's like wiped out.
When you see that moment, I'm like, oh shit, oh Christ, oh God, what's gonna happen now? What? This is it. This is not good.
Yeah.
So good.
So I gave this one a 9.5 out of 10. Like, so good. Then we get Tolerance's Extinction Part 2, Episode 9. So this was like the aftermath of the Prime Sentinel attack and Magneto's EMP. You get the return of Magneto, like true Magneto. Red and purple suit, helmet, looks so cool. And he builds the new asteroid M. Then Storm and Forge join the fight. The team regroups. They kind of plan out how they're going to do this. They have to get Magneto to reverse the EMP, but they also have to find Bastion. And they split into the blue and gold team, which was a really cool nod to the comics. Because in the 90s, they had the two teams. So that was really cool. Then you get Magneto and his proposition. And he says he tried Charles's methods, and it resulted in Genosha getting massacred. So he's resorting back to his old methods where humans and mutants cannot coexist. The humans need to go. And I just had 3 lines that he says here. And he says, you asked me to walk your path. Are you prepared to walk mine? I thought, oh my God, that was so good. And then he says, will humanity undo Genosha? And the easy answer is no, they're never going to.
Not a chance.
And then this is what like really like gave me goosebumps here. I promised a boy a future free of fear, only to watch his frightened eyes vaporized inside his tiny skull, because he believed in me, in the dream you had me sell. Your professor's dream is dead. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was really hard hitting for me now, because you could just literally visualize him there, and he was just there. And I'm like,
that kid died because he believed in what Charles was trying to do. A false hope, basically.
Yeah. It was just that was powerful for me, because I'm like, damn, he's got a point.
And then Magneto feels like a fraud because he was trying to do that and it didn't work, and he in the back of his head the whole time he was probably like, I can't see this working out.
Yeah.
And then Rogue and Sunspot join Magneto. The team is divided. I honestly wasn't surprised that Rogue joined, but Sunspot really surprised me.
Yeah, I say Rogue I could understand, especially with their weird relationship in the earlier of the series, because that I didn't notice at all. I didn't know that was a thing at all. But when you think about it, it does make sense. So that didn't really surprise me. Rogue, I knew, especially after she had that massive warpath going around and everything you knew she was going to turn. But again, like yourself, Sunspot was not seen at all. To me, it didn't really make sense, because it's like, but surely you want to like prove the world wrong and be by Jubilee's side and this, that, and the other sort of thing. So for him to go, well, no, they're never going to accept and join his side now, I'm like...
And for him to, like, because obviously his mother gives him to the Sentinels.
Yeah.
But, like, that's your mother. You're basically saying, I'm going to wipe out all of them because they treated me like this. It doesn't make sense for him.
No.
So, yeah. And then you get the comic suits. Like, all of them get their, like, classic suits. When Wolverine puts on the yellow and brown, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's
buzzing.
In my head.
My
head, that's the best look for Wolverine. Like the really, really classic Uncanny X-Men look.
Oh, massively.
I really hope they do that in the movies.
Yeah. I don't. They could do it for. No, they might do it. They might do it for Deadpool. I'm not too sure, but they might do it. I've seen just too much of the yellow one, so I'm like,
it's time for the yellow and brown to have its time.
Yeah.
I think like the main like Wolverine going forward in the MCU has to have that suit.
Oh yeah. You've seen the yellow and blue enough. You want to have a nod to one of the other classic original ones as well, sort of thing.
Like you get the Cyclops suit, Marvel Girl, Morph even gets his comic suit. Charles is in his like military like, you know, jacket and stuff like that. It looks so good. And then after that, like Gold Team is in the Blackbird, and the scene between Jean and Storm before Storm goes out is so well written. Like the two lines they have where like they have that moment together, and Jean says, make them mind your weather, sister." And then Storm says, "And them weather your mind." I was like, wow, okay.
That's such a good touch.
It is.
Such a good
Like,
touch. It's like
their connection
moments
is
as well.
so good.
Yeah. Them moments when they're talking like that really pull at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
And it's just like, please, don't happen to him now. We've seen so much happen to everything else. Just
Especially Jean.
please,
like,
no more. Yeah.
Like, give Jean a break.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, come on, just lay off the girl for a bit, please. Now, just please be nice.
Like, it's so well written. And Storm, again, like, she thrives in like every scene she's in. Like, she's so good. And you get the Hulk cameo. Morph transforms in the Hulk, and he says "Morph smash." I thought that was really cool. You get Sinister versus Jean. I thought that was really cool too. How he really like gets into her head, and the way he moves around too,
well.
and then in the shadow.
Oh, you okay? Can you hear me? Oh crap! Hang on. Oh no! Don't do this to me now. I can't hear a word you're saying. I literally can't hear a word you're saying. On. Let me. Oh crap! Don't do this to me now. Not now. Not now. Speak. No. You're muted. You're muted. Hello. Hey, there we are. Oh. I ain't got a clue now. I just noticed the little.
I think I'm back. Let's bring it back here.
Good. I can hear you perfectly fine. I'm good on my end. Yeah.
Okay, Rez, just let me know if everything's good now. I have no idea why that just happened.
I know. He started talking and just shit. What's gone off there? Just...
Okay, thank you, Rez. All good.
Oh, good. There we are. That's right. Thank God
Right.
for that. God knows what happened there. Apologise.
No idea what just
Sorry
happened.
about that.
Okay, so back to Blue Team, Gold Team. You got Cable versus Jean. That was crazy. Like,
yeah, I didn't see that
he
coming
just
at all.
shifts
Like,
so fast.
the little thing on his head as well. Now, his little like the mind control
The
bit.
diamond,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh no! You can't do this. You can't do this.
Like, and then just how he uses literally all of his power and just throws it at Jean. And then she says, "I love you, Scott." You're like, no, they can't do this again. Like, there's no way.
No.
And then you get thrown into the Blue Team versus Magneto. And I love the interaction Charles and Magneto have where Charles says something like Magnus, stop, you're like going too far with this. And then Magneto says, oh, the two words I've loved to like say to you all this time. And he throws the metal onto his mouth and he just shut up.
Shut up.
So good.
That was so good. Now, like, I was like, yeah, he's enough of your bullshit now. Now, like, just time for the action to speak instead of words.
Like, so good. Like, Magneto does not hold back on this. Like, he's gonna throw everything he's got into, like, basically taking down all of them. And then you get Wolverine stabbing Magneto. And at that moment, I was like, wait. Like, they can't be killing Magneto here. Like, there's no way.
No.
And I really like the exchange he has where he says, Logan, my most like vicious enemy or something like that. Because Wolverine's the one that is always like going, like he wants the kill. And the team's always like, no, you can't do that. So when he gets his moment and Magneto recognizes that he's got what he's wanted all this time, and then he just throws him back and rips the adamantium out.
When
Shocking.
I seen that, I'm just like, oh no, not again. Not again.
Again, gut-wrenching sounds too when it's coming out of him, and then when it's like the panel recreation of that comic, because the shot is recreated so like perfectly. It's from the Fatal Attraction story too, if anyone's wondering. That was in the 90s, I believe. So, like a basically direct recreation of that. But just what a way to end that. Like that's like the final thing you see is Wolverine getting all the adamantium ripped out of him.
I see that's been as well when it just ends like that. I'm just like, oh, for Christ's sake, no, just can't. You've just seen, looks like Jean Grey's just been done. Wolverine now as well. Is Magneto going to die from his injuries because he's just done that? That was another moment where I was just like, no, I need the episode now. I need to know what the hell has just gone off. I can't wait a week. Why? So good.
Yeah, so I gave that one a 10 out of 10. So good. And that's all the notes I had up until the finale. So this is basically all unscripted now for me. Like my, like, I guess, not like first reaction, but my thoughts over the past, I guess, couple hours since I watched it on the finale. I think they did a really good job wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, massively. How you end like that is just
like
talk about wanting it next. Now you want the next one next week.
Yeah,
it's just
like the balance between dealing with the whole Bastion thing and then the Magneto. Like obviously Charles is tapped into Magneto's head, trying to free him of the pain that's kind of consuming him, and then you even see like Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Polaris on that boat with Rogue. I thought that was really cool how they included that. Like his family is like waiting for him in the, you know, positive side of his mind. And then it looks like all hope is lost when the bar floods, and then it's like, okay, Magneto is full on rage mode now.
Just that interaction as well in that bar and and then you can see the water getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to talk it out and seeing the panic in Magneto's face as well now. Like it was just completely like, it's just gonna go. It's just gonna be wiped out. They're gonna be lost forever in that lot. And then you see that just all come in. I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ, not again, not these two, not again.
And
then he's talking as well when he's like he's trapped in there and he's talking to Scott and he's talking to Jean. There's like, look, this is what needs to happen. That lot, I'm gonna try, but just bear with me in that lot. And if I'm lost, then goodbye.
And then the whole like Bastion thing of like he evolves and then he goes up to Asteroid M, and then there's the whole interaction there. Like Scott offers him like, we're trying to learn coexistence. We're not gonna kill you because we're willing to try to see if you can accept us. And Bastion does reach out, but then who knows? Like if he did survive that, who knows if he would have lived up to actually actually trying it. But the whole like fights with him too, and Rogue goes after him, and then she says, "This is for Remy," and then like remember it, something like that. Like it was so good.
There's something I want to ask you on that. Is that when they're fighting on the moon there? Is that the bits of them built up bits? Is that something to do with the Inhumans?
With the like carvings in the rock?
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea. I was wondering about that myself. Like, what is that? Like, I didn't know if that was
my first thought.
I didn't know if that was a callback to the original series, like if something was on the moon.
Oh, okay.
Or it could be something else, but I don't think it's Inhumans because it seems like they would be kind of more technologically advanced in there.
Yeah. But no, as soon as when the fighting's around there, and I'm looking at the bits behind it, and I'm like, oh, it's Medusa or Black Bolt going to bleed and appear in a minute, that sort of thing. They just
that would have been cool.
an ancient. That's something just a wrecked up an ancient thing, that lot sort of thing. I'm like, my lord, that lot. But that fight scene as well, them on the moon before he could have smashed up the gravity core at the top, that lot. I'm just like, so good in that lot. And that he looked as soon as he ripped off Cable's arm and just absorbed it. And it just looks so like, why are you going to stop him now? That's it.
Like he's got wings now. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just, so good. So good.
Charles seemingly sacrifices his psyche to save Magneto's mind, basically. And you get, like, Magneto has returned kind of moment at the end. I thought that was really cool, but then it's, like, kind of cut short when the asteroid looks like it's gone. And at that moment, I was like, what the heck just happened?
That scene as well, when he's basically like broke free and they're just levitating up and that sort of thing. For some reason, I just had a vision of he's going to obviously reignite the world, get all the power back on, but he's going to do it with that sheer intensity, because that's how like intense it looked. I just had a vision he was going to, both their heads were going to be in pop or something like that, because it just looked that powerful, and I'm like, it's going to end well. This is not going to end well in the slightest, that sort of thing. But
now here's the thing that I thought of that was really, like, kind of ironic, but they're trying to, like, go on about coexistence with the humans. And when, the president is meeting with Captain America and Iron Man, saying, like, this is the action we need to take. And they're talking about just shooting down Asteroid M. As soon as the power goes back on, they're like, yeah, let's do it. And at that moment, it's like Magneto gave you back your power. I think that's kind of fair. Like, you don't need to attack him anymore. But they're like, yeah, as soon as that's back, he's going down. So it's, again,
well, that's why it looked.
The humans are never going to stop.
Captain America looked so disappointed. Yeah. So that's why Captain America looked so disappointed. Like, no, it's going to cause more harm than good for you to do that. And then when he does it anyway, it just looks like, crap, I've just not done my part to protect my fellow heroes, that sort of thing. It was just
like, Magneto might be my favorite character of this series. So well written. He, like, everything he went through in this, it's like the character journey from episode 2, I guess, willing to accept that, journey that Charles puts him on, to the end of this. Like, it's so well done.
And then, like I say, all of them are so well written, that lot, and there's so many twists and turns you weren't expecting, like deaths or seem to have been deaths that you just weren't expecting, that lot. Very like mature sort of thing, because I swear as well, I think this is the first episode you actually hear him like swear, and I was like, I think Magneto says bastard something another, that lot, and I'm like, ooh, Christ, they're not holding back. They are proper, like, going all in and just saying it as it is, and it was just so good. It's just, there is nothing that I can say about this series that is a downer. Like, everything they have done is specifically spot on, that lot. Like I said to you afterwards, the cameos as well in that lot, when they're going through New York and everything, Daredevil. I didn't realise there was Peter Parker and Mary Jane that stood at the television, that lot. Yeah, Doctor Strange,
Black Panther, Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, Black Panther, Cloak and Dagger. When I seen them two come up, I'm like, that's a really like niche sort of character to even
they're so random.
Bring up in that lot. Yeah. Just have them appear on the side of the street or something, seemingly alongside Daredevil and that lot. Yeah. It was like the Omega Force, was it? With Omega Red and the Red
Something
Guardian.
Like I thought it was Crimson Dynamo, and then there was someone else.
Oh, Crimson Dynamo, that was it,
But yeah, you said Psylocke, and then there's a couple of members of the Alpha Flight with her.
Yeah, it's just like...
The Marvel Universe is vast.
Yeah, he's there.
Like, yeah,
it's ready to go in that lot. Like I was saying to yourself off air, with all these different people being in there, you could easily just make their own animated MCU with these series and that lot. Like the next one, if they're going to do another series. They're going to do another animated series. That lot. I know they've got their own like Peter Parker high school thing in the works. Whenever that's going to come out, I ain't got a bleeding clue
I
when.
think it's end of this year.
Yeah, well, they're going to do something like that. You've got to bring the X-Men, the old Spider-Man back next. Got to.
Yeah.
There's too many references for him not to come back in that lot sort of thing. And
they could even do an Avengers one.
So good.
They could do a Fantastic Four one. Like, they can do anything with them. There's so many characters in that universe. Like, that's the established universe. That's where where they can really thrive in that. Like, nothing's really connected. It's more like they all share the same environment.
Yeah, exactly that lot. It's just so good. So just and then I would say the end bit.
Yeah. Because after the asteroid disappears, you're like, okay, what just happened? And then it cuts to black, and you're like, is that it? Like, they can't do that.
I see. We said off air as well. My first thought when it just disappeared and that sort of thing, I just had visions. I don't know why. I think just how abruptly it just sort of went. I just had visions of it being all of a sudden in live action, above like the Earth here, and we're going to see the cast of the X-Men there and then sort of thing. That was my vision that I just had, just there and then sort of thing that lot. But then to split the team again, one way in the past and one way in the future, I was just
some missing too.
Oh, yeah. I was like, as soon as they did Egypt as well, we said again off air, that Egypt bit, I knew exactly who it was going to be for in that lot, and I just.
And I think
that
it's
reveal as well.
It's so interesting that they're doing it across time too. Like, part of the team is like, they said like 3000 BC, and then the other part is in like the far future where it's obvious Apocalypse has taken over. And you got young Cable there too. But in the past, it's like before he assumed the role of Apocalypse. So I was like, maybe this is that team trying to kind of explain to Apocalypse that this is not the path you want to go down because people like us are going to suffer. I just see Rez. I was happy when I saw Bishop, and I don't know why. Well, that's the other thing. Why was he gone this whole time? He could have shown up at any point, but he shows up when all of them are gone. I thought that was really weird, but it's cool, like we said off air too, when Forge is in that room and he's trying to figure out who's left, and you see the homage to the Days of Future Past comic cover with all of the posters, and then you see like if they're missing, dead, stuff like that. I thought that was a really cool homage.
I'm hoping with that bit of Bishop as well, I'm hoping that explain that it took him longer to get back because of like outside interference or something like that sort of thing. Because it was like the 3 stages where you had all them in the past, then you got all them in the Scott and Jean in the future and that lot, and then you come back to modern day.
Yeah.
And Apocalypse is just there at Genosha, and he picks up Remy's card.
Okay, here's the thing.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, what?
Here's the thing. So, we were talking about Gambit earlier. In the comics, Gambit is resurrected as one of the horsemen of the Apocalypse. For Apocalypse. So in Season 2, they could do that, where Gambit's back, but this time he's serving Apocalypse in trying to take over the world, basically.
I didn't even think of that.
Oh,
because that
says, I don't know if he's a good guy, a bad guy, but don't spoil anything for me. Are you talking about Bishop or Apocalypse? I'll just give him some time to respond there. But so good.
Yeah, because you'd have Archangel as well, then, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, Angel was on Genosha. I can't remember if he was dead though. But
even if he's dead, surely that would be good back to bring him back as well, sort of thing, just to resurrect him.
He's talking about Bishop. As far as I know, he's
Bishop's
a good guy. Yeah,
he's always good in that lot. I've always known he was good in that lot.
He's a really cool character too. Like, I hope in Season 2 he's the one that is going through a time and he's kind of bringing the team back together.
he takes on that Cable sort of role and all, because you presume now Cable's in the present and he's just knackered. He can't do anything.
But then you
he'll
also
probably
have
be that
young Cable in the future.
Yeah, and so be in the present day. He'll probably be that mentor towards Bishop to go, right. Look, this is what you need to do, sort of thing. That lot. So I just can't wait. Cannot wait. I want to know when. I want to know when. How many episodes again? I just need it now because.
Like we said off air, announce it next week. Do it. This show is a hit for them. Why would they wait so long to announce season 2? And the actress that plays Rogue even said that she's done recording her lines for season 2. So.
Oh really? Oh, so it's definitely.
It's in production.
In the works then. It's been. Shit, I didn't realize that. I thought
we don't know when though. That's the thing. I hope it's not too long because. No. If the hype for X-Men is up here, then they have to keep it there. Because obviously, people are gonna love the next season if it comes out. I don't know, 2 or 3 years later. But it's gonna be they're gonna keep the consistency of the hype if they do it sooner.
Myself, they've got to have it next year. Got to.
Yeah, I know. They
need to have it as a rolling.
Because they have those new rules too. I don't know if we've talked about it on this, but they're only limited to 3 movies max per year and then 2 shows per year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't realise that. Oh, damn.
That was announced last week.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't realise that. But would that be 2 shows as in including the animation as well as a live action or?
That's the thing. It wasn't really clear because now, yesterday, there was an event where they announced the new Daredevil title and when it was coming and Agatha.
Okay. Oh, I didn't see any of that.
You didn't? Okay. There's a new.
No. It's literally news to me. That I saw something about they were taking the mick out of the Agatha thing because she did a load of new. Well, Marvel posted a load of new titles for Agatha, but then they kept on deleting them. And then it was who's been messing up everything? It was Agatha all along or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the official title.
That's the only thing I saw.
Is Agatha all along.
Oh, it's Agatha all along?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's coming in September, and then Daredevil is coming in March.
Oh, March next year?
Yeah.
Oh, is it right? Is it still 18 episodes?
It's 9. So that's 9 for season 1, and then it's probably 9 for season 2. Okay. Because initially it was the 18 episodes first season. Which was way before they did the overhaul of everything.
Yeah.
So now I don't know if they shot both back to back or if they're gonna go back to shooting after.
Right. Okay.
Rez says you think that they shot 1 and 2 back to back. I hope they did, so they don't need to.
Yeah.
Give away too many more spoilers through set photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to that. And then Ironheart is supposedly coming next year too. But that's one that's
Well, yeah, but is it a film? Is it a series?
Series.
Never knew it. Oh, it is a series now again.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I really ain't got a clue about that.
That's one that they've... It's sat finished for so long and they just haven't released it.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't realise that.
It's been finished for over a year, I think.
Oh,
but yeah, with those new rules, I have no idea if the animation and the live action TV are if they count towards the same thing, or if animation you can do any point.
I'm hoping it doesn't because I swear they've already done a load of stuff for season 3 of
What If, yeah.
What If as well. So I think that's starting that coming the end of this year.
I don't know. They said it was coming soon though, so it might.
Yeah.
But then you've also got the Spider-Man show, so
maybe, exactly.
Who knows? Might be next summer now.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I just can't rave about this anymore. It's just such a good series that lot, and I cannot wait for it to the next series that lot because I'm just absolutely in awe of it, and so literally gone through all my notes as well in that lot, and. Yeah, I just can't praise it enough.
Yeah, one of the best things Marvel has ever done, hands down.
Oh yeah. this is the best. It's been our best animation series that I've ever seen. Absolutely
Definitely.
ever seen that lot, and I've seen a lot of animation stuff, but this just blows the water out of it, sort of thing. It's can't praise it enough.
Yeah. So if anyone watching, like, feel free to share your thoughts on it in the comments and let us know what you thought of it. I I expect myself to rewatch it, like the whole thing. Like,
Oh yeah,
episode
easily.
by episode soon. Just we need season 2. Like, please give it to us.
Yeah, massively. Like, I could. It's one of them series that I could easily just go back and just rewatch and like see if there's any things that I missed around the first time,
definitely.
and because I bet when there's loads of little things in the background and stuff like that. Sort
Definitely.
Of thing. But just can't praise it enough. And I'm so glad they've stayed so true to the series as well. Of the original ones. So like Nate said, just tell us in the comments what you thought about it. What you hope what's going to come next from the team, and just anything and everything. Because my lord, it's absolutely perfect showing out there.
I just see Rez. Amazing review, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Rez, thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, it's always nice to have a chat with yourself and come up here and that sort of thing, mate. It's really nice to see you in that lot. So I'll have to wrap it up there on my end. I've got a child that's moaning and wants something to eat, so I got to feed the beast. But so you got anything coming out in this week?
I've got the second entry to Phase 2 of forging the new MCU with the Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk. That's coming on Friday. And then I'm going to work on a solo review for this show as well.
So myself, then I've got this special guest coming out for the review this Friday night. Also check out our review of X-Men 97 this Friday coming along and that lot with the special guests and have their thoughts and how they perceive the show and everything. A lot. It's somebody that's very, very intertwined in this series and that lot, and knew the old series very well and that lot. So so we're really interested to see their thoughts and that lot. But check out the review this Friday and that lot. I'd just like to say again, thank you very much for Nate for coming on. We'll see yourselves who are watching, like, share, and subscribe and all that jazz like normal. Hopefully see you next week as well and that lot for another live stream. We've got a few in the works now, so it'll be one of the three in that lot sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
I think it might be the Marvel versus DC because we delayed that one from last week.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think we should do that one next week.
That's fine by me. That will be a very interesting one to that one. So Marvel versus DC next week on the live stream. I'll be very interested to see Rez's talks on that one when we get that one going up, because that one's going to be a very intensely debated one. Let's just say. Definitely,
it's going to be fun.
Thank you very much for joining us on another episode of Project Assemble. 20th one, I didn't realise that. So thank you very much for joining us on the 20th one. And we'll see you all soon. Goodbye now.